and their target was the police. In the horizon, you can see smoke still emanating from the houses there. Police have been used to use quite a significant number of those canisters to ensure that these protesters actually don't make their way into the institution. On the other side of the road, traffic is somewhat paralyzed. We don't have as many vehicles making their way into or out of Kibera, especially these areas of Olympic. And the residents that we've managed to speak with say that they've just decided to lock themselves in and monitor the situation from inside their houses. They're actually glued on television stations, but their hope is that things will cool off and they will be able to go about their normal activities, which include voting for those who are willing. Freddie.
Thank you, Patrick, for that update from Kibera, where police reinforcements have been taken to the Olympic Primary School polling center, which is one of the biggest polling centers in Kibera. Protesters there continue to pelt stones at the police, therefore the standoff there, and police exchanging. Police actually retaliating with tear gas to disperse those protesters who were trying to charge towards that polling center. It appears the situation has been controlled so far, has been contained somewhat. Yet polling is yet to kick off at that particular polling center, and we'll be going back there for an update in a short while. Let's go back to Kisumu, where Sam Ogina continues to traverse the Lakeside County for an update. Sam, what's happening now in Kisumu?
The pictures you are seeing there is a standoff between the officers and stones, and this is actually in Kondele. That is where actually the action happened here. This week we actually went live. Security officers were exactly where the demonstrators actually are, and that's where they were. But now they've been pushed back to this particular area, of which I understand really this is where the polling station for Kondele, this particular roundabout, is where that particular polling station for Kondele is usually situated and located. And of course, you can see the agitation from supporters on that side, and that is a tear gas that has actually been fired at the demonstrators, and trying to actually, well, tear gas fired at the protesters, but they are not actually budging. For me, they are not actually budging, as you can see, and they're trying to barricade the roads and fires, and actually just putting stones and boulders to make sure that no security vehicles are able to access that particular area that is in Kondele. And of course, coming here, being able to go through several road barricades and making a count of almost 7 of them being able to access this area. And as you can see, stones coming from that direction with sleeves. I'll move away for that. And essentially, Freddie, what is transpiring is the agitation by the residents here on why exactly an election is going on, and yet some of their grievances are addressed by the commission as it were. And there is a standard here, and even from my back, so I have to be aware of security officers regrouping here. My cameraman can just show this particular side. That is where if my cameraman can move with me and just show these pictures to you, security officers just making, rather strategizing on how to repulse these protesters and demonstrators. And where we are actually located is under a bridge, and up here there is also security officers, and now that is the water cannon heading towards protesters and demonstrators who have been pelting security officers with stones. But what you can see clearly ahead of you is roads that have been barricaded with boulders and stones, and just trying to repulse them with the water cannon. But that is as far as it can get, because the road right ahead has been barricaded for that matter. And you can see they're still pelting it with stones as it is. As much as they are trying to run away and dash for their lives, they still have that courage to actually pelt security officers with stones. And let's just move away, not unless you are caught with the water as well and become victims. But Freddy, that is the situation as it is here in Kisumu. Bonfires actually lit all around, keeping vigil, lighting bonfires and barricades all over the city and all over the town as they register their angry protest against the poll that is going on today. Several polling stations across the city not yet open because they cannot be accessed. No polling officials available to do that. And well, I'm still seeing stones coming from behind us, so maybe just to be aware of my security situation as it is. But if that camera can look towards that other direction, so you can see protesters are from that particular direction, the others are from this other direction, and I'm seeing others throwing stones from that direction. So essentially we are actually at the center, because from my right really. And if my cameraman Gregory, if you can just move with me please, if you can just move so that you show. So that is it, see a group of youth from that particular direction. One has just thrown a stone towards us. So essentially coming from three different directions really, from my right, from my behind, from two directions from my behind, and now security officers now at the middle with some of us, and they're lighting bonfires just to try and make sure that they're not accessed, so that security vehicles are not accessible to that particular area as much as they're trying to be repulsed. So what security officers can actually do is just fire tear gas at them. And as I said before we actually went live, that is where police officers were, but they've been pushed back to this particular area, which doubles up as the Kondele polling station as it was. So really it is a tense moment here between security officers and demonstrators, and no arrests have been made so far, but officers here getting a brief probably on how to handle the situation, on how to handle the demonstrators, on just trying to re-strategize really on how to deal with this situation and how to diffuse it, because it's getting out of hand by the minute. And of course, even the tear gas that is being pelted at these demonstrators, they're sort of getting used to it, if you may, because really they're not budging, they're not being repulsed by tear gas, because they will move back 2-3 steps and then surge forward once again. But maybe getting trying to use different tactics here and try and diffuse the situation as it is. No voting going on here in Kisumu County. Various polling stations, still nothing happening. No vehicles available to ferry polling materials, and also no presiding officers are available to undertake this duty for fear of their lives, of course, saying that after the exercise they might be attacked, so they cannot actually undertake this particular exercise. And well, this particular side that is on my left, That is the Kondele police station, where you see that billboard. That is actually the Kondele police station, and now this is actually now the honest nest, if you may like, because it is the confrontation between security officers and the protesters happening right outside the police office. And as you can see on my right, already there was a bonfire that was lit here way early in the day. So, and of course, this is a situation that is replicated across the vicinity of Kisumu town, because if you look from high above, you'll just be seeing smoke billowing from all directions, left, right, center, ahead and behind. Smoke billowing from all angles in this particular town. And of course, the barricades, from every meter you meet a barricade. Of course, what is happening in these barricades really is protesters trying to verify essentially what is it that vehicles going through those barricades are carrying, and as so much so just to make sure that no ballot papers are being ferried from constituency tallying centers to, and okay, as I said, it was a strategy meeting sort of, and now they're charging forward, and protesters on the other side are dashing back. And that is probably the cat and mouse game that I was talking about, because one time security officers are charging forward, and the other time it is the protesters now repulsing security agents. And it has been like this for the past nearly 1 hour, and of course trying to make sure that, or rather approaching from different directions to make sure that they corner Delhi, where it is a hectic day, just to say the least, both for security officers and even some of us who have been covering Kisumu in the days. And this exercise can really go on until later on in the day, because the cat and mouse game includes protesters trying to repel security officers. Of course, they're using stones and slings as well. And the idea of using a sling really is what gets to my guts, because you never know where the stone might land, and also you might not have an idea where the stones is coming from. And essentially that is, we'll just try and follow.
Sam, we need to stop you there. We have pictures, live pictures from Eldoret, where Deputy President William Ruto is just about to cast his ballot. The live pictures from Sugoi, where he has a home, and that's where he is going to cast his ballot in the next few moments. We do apologize for the shaky pictures and poor connection. It has to do with the weather in various parts of the country. But yes, quite some contrasting action between